Sharad Mahindra, who's the Joint Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the company, to talk about timelines and how the company plans to integrate this plant and these assets. Listen in.
See, the thing is that on this is once we have to remember that what we have announced is that we have received the LOI for this asset, letter of intent we have received. And as this has been insolvency process, so now the COC is taking it to the NCLT, which will take maybe due course of time, but we expect the process to get over fast. So as and when the process gets completed, we'll be definitely coming out with the numbers and how we are going to do the funding. But definitely, I will like to talk about the asset, which has been, as we are aware, that this asset has been in the insolvency process for last 5 years, almost four to 5 years. And this is a the due diligence what we conducted, we found this asset to be a very high quality asset. And in terms of capacity, when fully operational of 3,600 megawatt will be maybe the third largest thermal plant in the country. And this is at a very strategic location close to the coal mines in the state of Chhattisgarh. And 50% of the capacity, which is 1,800 megawatt, is fully operational. And the key part of this asset is that the balance 1,800 megawatt capacity, which is to be completed, will be completed in a very low cost. The reason is that the fourth unit, these are actually the configuration of this plant is 6 units of 600 megawatt each, 3 fully operational, and the fourth unit, more than 40% of the work is already completed. And the key part is to take this plant to 3,600 megawatt, balance of plant, including the water pipeline for 3,600 megawatt, the transmission line for evacuation of power, and all other entire balance of plant is fully ready for the entire 3,600 megawatt capacity. So this acquisition, and which we are sure that once the process gets completed, it will be completed at a faster pace as compared to the standard thermal plant from scratch when it is start to build and then to commission, which this will be operational in a lower time period as compared to any other plant of this size to be there. So these are the key.
I just want to come in on, obviously it's going to go through NCLT, as you pointed out, point well taken, but just so that your investors have a sense of the timelines that they can expect. It is not going to happen in this financial year, possibly next financial year. Is that what we're looking at?
Difficult to give an exact time period, but yes, maybe because the kind of value which COC has been able to recover and all, and in fact, they will also like to reverse what they have booked already in the books, maybe as early as possible. So we don't expect this particular asset to take a very large time in completion. Giving an exact timeline will be a challenge, but maybe we are sure that maybe in the first quarter of current year or maybe earlier also, it should not be as a surprise. This process we expect it to happen fast.
Okay, so you're saying calendar year means by March you might even see a completion of this?
March, it's very tight timelines, because historically we have seen the assets under NCLT have taken their own due course. But definitely we expect this to be happening faster than what we have experienced in last few years through this route.
Point taken. So I just want to talk about, before I get into the operational aspects of this asset that you're acquiring, I just want to understand just a sense of how this is being funded. Is there any debt that you're raising to complete this?
We will be as and when the process gets completed, because we are also not very sure whether it will take 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. But yes, we will be definitely, it will be a mix of internal accruals plus whatever debt we need to raise. We will be doing that, but we will be taking a final call depending on the timing also. It is very important that when we are able to complete the process.
Understood. Now, on this KSK Mahanadi, there is 15,985, which is the agreed upon amount. Outside of that, will there be any residual debt at all on the books that you will acquire?
See, we are definitely the work which is in progress. There is no other debt what we are going to acquire. This is the total enterprise value. over and above that, definitely when we expand this operations from 1800 to 3600 megawatt, there is certain capex which we have built in our business case. So that over a due course of time in maybe next few years will definitely be to take this plant to full operational capacity of 3600.
Oh, okay, so you're saying next few years. Am I right in assuming that it would take about 3 financial years? Because that's what some people are building in.
See, as I told you, the fourth unit, which is maybe 600 megawatt, 40% of the work is complete and balance of the plant is fully ready. So this should happen faster. And then gradually another 2 units of 600 will take some time, but it will happen definitely, as I said earlier, much faster as compared to any other thermal project when we start the work.
Okay, so 1800 and then one more 600 is going to come on stream very quickly, possibly next year.
Maybe not next year because still the supplies and other things which we have to place the order, everything. Maybe, but yes, maybe 18 to 24 months, definitely we feel that another capacity will get added.
Okay, what are the implications in terms of your own JSW Energy's operations? Because you're talking about meeting your targets for overall capacity much faster than you had initially anticipated. 2030, you had a target for 20 gigawatts. You've far surpassed that. So does that mean that you will not have to add any additional capacity for quite a while?
No, I'll just come to that. But just before that, about this one important aspect of this asset, which is to be remembered, is this operational 1800 megawatt. Out of this, almost 98% capacity is tied up. Long-term and medium-term PPAs with the states of UP, Tamil Nadu and state of Chhattisgarh. So that is the reason that the certainty of the revenue, the cash flow, everything is there because it's a tied up capacity. So this is one key highlight which also has been a factor in deciding going for the acquisition of this. Now coming to our overall capacity as a whole, JSW Energy, with this 3.6 gigawatt of asset, the total locked in capacity now has reached 28.2 gigawatt. As maybe we have been saying for maybe 2.5, 3 years back, we announced that we will be reaching 20 gigawatt by FY30. And the phase one was that FY25, which is March 25. Now we are reaching there, that we will be in this phase one, we'll be reaching 10 gigawatt by FY25. We are well on track to achieve this first phase of 10 gigawatt, and we will be higher than 10 gigawatt capacity. And once we reach this 10, another 18.2 gigawatt of pipeline which is there. So definitely this 20 gigawatt by FY30 is going to happen significantly earlier. And we will be working now. It is not that we will stop here, because the way country's demand is growing, and also the energy in the renewable energy space and also in the thermal space, the way the requirements are coming, keeping in mind the demand growth which is there, we will definitely keep on evaluating and will be not stopping at this number. So we are reworking on our numbers, and maybe at the right time, once we achieve the phase one by March 25 of 10 gigawatt, we will be definitely coming out maybe with a strategy 3.0 for FY30 with revised numbers.
Mr. Mahindra, just one last point of this KSK Mahanadi. You've said that the monies that you will have to spend to increase that capacity, those last two plants, is not going to be as substantial as it would be if you were building from scratch. So in your workings, can you give us a sense of how much you will likely have to spend over the next few years?
See, exact numbers I will not, but yes, we all know the benchmark numbers for any thermal capacity greenfield, which has a lot of aspect to build. As I told you, that balance of plant is fully ready. Water pipeline for entire 3600, the transmission line, power evacuation for 3600, all those things ready. So it is basically the significant investment which is going to be there is only in the BTG, which is the boiler turbine generator, and maybe some support functions. So it will be significantly lower. I will say that it will be very, very
Mr. Mahindra,
lower.
I know that you're trying to give us some perspective, but for those investors that are not as clued in on the business as others might be, just to give them some perspective, what is the...
In terms of percentage, we can see at least maybe 30 to 40% lower. This I can give, yes.